Allow your body to just enjoy a huge breath. Huge inhale. Nice relaxing exhale. Take a few breaths like that, imagining with each exhale, you're unloading some of the heaviness, some of the responsibility that's been on your shoulders recently. That heaviness, that responsibility starts to weigh us down physically. It's almost like we're carrying a heavy backpack around and we're kind of taking on a hunched position, almost like a fetal position, just curled in, because that's the way that the body tries to hold more. But for at least this 1 hour together, let's imagine we don't have to have any of that weight of the world on us. We can set it all off to the side of our mat, and we get to kind of counter stretch some of that responsibility that we've put on our body, some of that hunched forward shape, that tightness that we've spread even into our legs. And so that's our goal, that's our intention through our class today. So just take another 2 or 3 breaths, imagining with each long, relaxed exhale, it's unloading more of that weight, letting more of it go. One more huge breath like that. Good inhale. The exhale. Good. And let's start to take some of our initial stretches. So let's allow arms to reach all the way to back wall. Let the shoulders and the legs go to one side and then go to the other side. Like a side rib opener, making a banana shape to each direction. Good. Take one more each direction. Good opening for the spine. Like we're trying to unfuse all the tightness that might be there. And coming back through center with the spine, the right knee comes into chest. Give it a hug. Try to pull the thigh in so tightly that it's like we're trying to give that half of the colon a little massage. Pull it in nice. And then start to stretch this right leg up to sky. Hands could be grabbing for foot, for calf, for thigh, wherever you can grab onto to help that leg get its first good stretch up. A good morning moment. Those muscle fibers a little bit more willing to stretch, to uncurl from the tightness and that weight of carrying everything. One more good inhale, exhale, and then we're taking a hip opener. Right heel hooks to back left end of the fabric, this part that's by our left ear. Hook all the way to that back end. And then like a pigeon pose, slide the shin in. Always know if you're confused, just look at others. Use the mirror, use whatever you okay. So between all these things we're doing, the hips, the hamstrings, the spine, notice where your body is receiving it most today. What's kind of needed the very most. Let's take one more good inhale. Exhale. Free out this right leg. Maybe a bonus stretch to sky before you drop it down. Good. Left knee in. Give it a hug. Trying to get this half of the colon with a little massage. Unload for another breath. Easy exhale. Leg extends up to sky. Start opening that hamstring nicely. Inhale. And exhale, we're taking it to the hip opener. Hook the left heel to the right, slide the chin in. One more breath. Close in. Imagine unloading tension with exhale. Good. Start to release this leg, drop it down. Let's come up to a seated place. Keep feet free. We're sitting up. Okay. So we're heading to a nice inversion. We're hooking the thumbs on the back side of the fabric, helping to push the fabric down to about where the pant line is behind us. Then lean back, grip back on. That's helping to lock the fabric where it was. Good. Once you're here halfway down, wide legs. Make sure you don't fall out as you tilt backwards. And then just wind your legs around the fabric. Good. Let's take a nice little arch for the spine. Plant the hands on the floor. And then continue walking hands behind you. Once you've walked hands as far as you can, release the shoulders. And so you're just taking a huge stretch all the way up the shoulders, all the way up the chest, all the way up the belly. Maybe the head, you're shaking it yes or no. Good. And if there's other free form movements you want to do, you could stay here. You could shift to other little things like twisting, clasping hands behind back and opening shoulders. There's all sorts of goodies, or just hanging. Everybody can tolerate inversions to a different degree. So don't feel like you're forcing your body to stay just because other people are. So I'm just giving that warning now. You're listening for when your body is about ready to come up. But I will give you time if you wanted to come up and down a few times. Give your head some breaks. That's okay. Whenever you are up, feel free to hook elbows and lean forward. It's floating child. Yeah, again, no rush if you're just enjoying it. Those that are still upside down, take your last 3 or 4 breaths and then eventually start to head up. Give the head a little bit of chance to break, to rest. Maybe even roll the head left and right. Beautiful. Coming all the way up to a seated place. Let's head deeper inside for some poses today. So let's bunch up the fabric to the side that will face you to the center of the room so you can see me. So this half, yep, we'll leave this. You got it. Lock the arm straight, and then the hip that just got lifted, swing that leg all the way up and over. Once you're there, tilt inside, straighten out the legs. It's all good if it still takes time. Try to remember our goal isn't rounding the spine to hunchback, rather we're trying to sit tall. So if the glutes need to be underneath you just a little bit more, grab onto the fabric in front of you And lift your hips up for just a moment. And when you set back down, usually that's an easier space to sit tall. So hands are going to be on the fabric that's behind your back on that half, nice and wide. Your arm strength is pressing the legs wide. That's going to be our nice inhale. And then with our exhale, the leg strength is resisting the arm strength, squeezing legs together in front of us. Build up that arm strength. And then legs release, widen the legs back. Exhale, squeeze inner thighs. Inhale, release, open wide. Take another 5. And open. 4. Open. 3. And 2. And 1. Good. Legs wide. Slide the right hand down the right leg. Left hand reaches laterally up and over. Good. Raising up. Switch it out. Into the left. Good. Raising up. Bring bottoms of feet together. Just resting. Perhaps forehead goes forward or back of the head rests backwards. Just give the body a couple of breaths. Resting, relaxing here. This is the seed pod. We found it. This is a beautiful opportunity for us to imagine, again, unloading tension from our body. So imagine all sorts of things that we've discovered already just in a couple of minutes of stretching. Imagine all that tension is being gathered up with inhale, and we're setting it off the side of our mat with our exhale. Let's give it about 5 more good breaths. Take one more deep inhale. Easy exhale. Good. So let's start to free out our legs. We're dangling back at the knees. And we're going to try to come into a nice folded taco shape. So place one hand onto the fabric in front of your face and then press into the fabric. That's supposed to help hold that middle of the fabric for you. So then the opposite ankle, you grab onto it, place it where your first hand is. Once you've got one foot up, it's pretty easy to grab the other foot and just place it next to the first. Then once you're here, to the extent of your flexibility today, start to straighten legs upward. It's okay if there's a little bit of bentness. It's okay if you even need to push your heels with strength into the fabric to help take some of the intensity away. But ultimately, or eventually, our goal would be to try to relax as many muscle groups as possible so it folds us in tighter and tighter. So again, slightly bent knees, there's nothing wrong with that. But feel this nice passive being held. One more good inhale. Nice exhale. If hamstrings is really your goal today, feel free to be here a little bit longer. Those that want to head into hips, take it to cobbler's pose. So bottoms of feet touch together and start sliding the heels close to the pelvis as full width. You could use hands or elbows to help press the hips open if you like what that does to the pose for you. Or you could let yourself kind of just relax and be squished inward a little bit. One more good inhale. Exhale. And these feet, shift them to the mirror side of the room. Bring both of them out that direction. Hips will have to shift left and right until we're facing all the way forward. Good. So there's a pose I'd like to eventually build up into, if possible today, called the flying squirrel. So we're going to take the first part of this, so that way we're kind of getting it set up in our body, what it's going to feel like eventually. So with this one, we need to bring both feet inside, the knees wide, kind of like that cobbler's pose we just did. And then you're going to take some of this excess just kind of up the ankles, up the shins. Doesn't have to be too much. So you got the knees wide. This first part is the part that's usually the trickiest to find the balance with. So what I'm doing is bunching up all of the fabric, and as I pull my weight up, I'm allowing the knees to go nice and wide, and I'm just kind of like relaxing my pelvis forward a little bit. So if you don't end up in the right spot with the knees, if it's too far forward or far back in the hammock, usually it's kind of difficult to stay here. So you can shift where the knees ended up. But so this is kind of the first part of it. And so if this part is difficult to get into, later on as we're practicing the flying squirrel, this is the part that you're welcome to just keep on playing with. So
Bound up somehow, man. Slide down into.
Yeah, you can reset by just kind of grabbing that fabric behind, sit back down, and then try to just like get your knees either slightly forward or slightly backward. Like where you step the feet will shift that spot. Yeah, you usually you have to adjust while you're actually sitting all the way inside. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So just play. And it's even good arm strength just to rise all the way up like that. Pulling your whole body weight up.
Right, what my elbows, shoulders
in front. You could, that's actually where you'll be heading eventually. Yeah. So if you wanted to kind of take a little slight back bend, Exactly. You're like, I need just a little bit. It's almost like a frog pose. Yeah. I'll give you just a moment longer so you can have a chance, Bill. Like almost there.
Still feel a little bound up my legs.
Yeah. Well, just keep on. Next time, just try another spot again. If you get the right spot, it kind of just becomes easier. But if you get the wrong spot, it just doesn't do it. Okay, go ahead and make sure you have enough fabric behind you that when you sit down, you're still going to be inside. And then let's do a little vampire pose. So fabric. We just want one thin layer covering up our shoulders. If you get too much in your neck, it's uncomfortable, but one thin layer to cover shoulders, and then lay all the way down. If you have a lot of excess fabric, step your feet in and shift some of that excess fabric down to your feet direction. And if you need to watch first, if it's your first vampire you've ever done, go ahead. If you're familiar with vampire, by the way, go ahead and just roll it today. So I've got myself laying down, I've got my head past the end, and it's enough to be like a safety covering on my shoulders. So then I reach up left and right, my feet pike up, my heels kind of grab onto that fabric right above where my hands are gripping. I push into that spot to rise all the way up. Okay, so I'm gonna come by if you need any help.
So your feet are on the right side or on the left?
I usually like to go here, so I can like use a little bit of leg strength to push. Yeah, so same thing here. I usually like to go on this side, I use that leg strength to basically activate my core strength. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, you got it. And if it hurts your neck at all, just shift a little bit more, like come out and shift just a little bit more down. So what I do is I kind of put this spot of the heel that kind of has that knot right there, like that, and then turn the toes out. Yeah, that's it. Yep, you got it. So this will be like the other one. I'll give you some time, but you don't have to say the, if it's getting to be too long for your head. We've got about half of us out, so those that are still upside down, give your last 3 or 4 breaths and then start to relax right back out. Okay, so we're taking as much recovery time as our head needs to feel like we're back up at a good neutral normal spot. So whenever you feel like you're about there, go ahead and help me know by sitting all the way back up. No rush for those, especially that just got out. Okay, so if you're still feeling good sitting up, we're gonna head out onto our feet. So grab the fabric, lift your hips right up and out. Blend up with fabric in front of us, bunch of that. We're gonna step our right foot into the fabric. We're gonna do just a teeny bit of strengthening to warm us up a little bit more. That'll help us get into some deeper stretches. So grip up nice and high. 3 times we're gonna come up and then try to use your arm strength as much as possible to come back down. Here's 2. If you lock your legs straight, by the way, it'll make you use a little more arm strength. 1. Good. And then come back up, stepping both feet inside. Okay. So from here, come down to a little squat, straighten the legs, and then pull back up. 3. That was 1. Okay, number 2, squat, straighten legs, and pull. Good, we found the spot. And 1. Good. Now step the left foot back out, and we're dropping left foot to the ground behind us. Okay, right leg gets to go nice and straight. Arms, yep, you're welcome to take a break and like very little pressure. If you want to just lean forward, that's fine. If you'd like to do more of a splits, you will have to grip on, and then you're welcome to send just as much body weight forward as you'd like. Hamstring out, lots of spaciousness. Good. Body weight over your standing leg. If you can balance without needing to grip on, have hands free. And then try to do this together so you're not whacking legs against each other. But 3 times, or let's go 5 times. Go wide and then across. Here's 4. Yeah, if you need to grip one hand, that's okay. 3, 2, 1. Good. Bend this right knee. You're going to take it into the fabric. The knee's going a little bit past the end of the fabric. And then grab that right heel, slide it up. It doesn't have to be all the way flat, especially if the knee or the hip is having issues. So you just slide it up as much as the hip and knee are still happy. And then start to send even just 2 or 3 inches forward gets you right into that hip opener. Okay, weight back over standing leg. One more time, slip right foot to the center. Maybe splits again, just a hair deeper than before. Good catch. Okay, and we're gonna switch sides. So let's do a swinging switch. Step left foot in, right foot to floor. Okay. And then the 3 and 3 that we did before. If your fingers need a break, you can shake them, wiggle them. Okay, gripping up high. Remember, legs straight the whole time will be more arm straight. So you get to choose your difficulty. So when you're ready, here's 3, up, down, 2, 1. Okay, standing all the way inside, both feet. Okay, squat down. Remember to keep the grip high though. Straighten legs, pull up. 2. And 1. Yeah, last one, don't do too much for those hands. Okay, now it's gonna be right foot. Left leg straightening out in front. You can just take the finger break if you need, just to lean forward, or you can do the splits if your hands are still okay. Some space, get some breathing. Imagine if there's still the energy of all that responsibility in this part of your body. Imagine, you can just bump it right off to the side of your mat. Loving our heart rate, good. Good. So body over standing leg. This is the one you could keep one hand, or you can go free if your balance is there. 5 times, so we're trying to stick together. Going wide, 5, and across. 4, 3, good catch. 2, 1. Good. Hip opener. Bring that left knee in a little bit past the front end so it stays. Grab the left heel, slide it up any amount that your knee's happy with. And then just that 2 or 3 inches leaning forward is all it really needs. Inhale, exhale, come back, leg back forward. I slide the grip up nice and high and see about the splits. It's willing to go just a bit deeper. Good. So coming back, free out the foot. Again, if you need your hands to have a little break, actually, let's just do a nice little wrist stretch. This will just feel good. So right hand makes a stop sign in front of you. Left hand grabs the fingers and thumb. Try to pull it back. Good. And then fingers down, pull back the other way. Good. Left hand. And down. Okay, so now let's try for a little bit more into that flying squirrel. So we're coming back to sit inside. Take the same steps as before, wave out the fabric, grab about half of it. Begin to sit. So the full flying squirrel is like a combination of that hip opening thing that we did along with vampire pose. So kind of combining the two together. If you need water, there's some right by the door. If you need water, it's just right in there, yeah. And you can sit down, just take a break, whatever you need. Okay, so it's like combining vampire and that hip opening thing that we did before. The hard part is the transition to getting your shoulders back covered. So from sitting inside, and if you wanted to watch this first full one, that's also fine. But from sitting inside, you do the same thing as before. You've got, for me, I've got maybe like a foot and a half or so of excess that I'm bringing up my ankles and shin area. I bunch the whole thing up to rise up with wide knees. And again, hips being just a little forward helps the balance out quite a bit better than trying to hold with your strength up behind. So my hips are as forward as I can take them. So then again, like I said, the hard part is getting the vampire shoulders set up. So one hand at a time, we'll need to come up, take some of the fabric over your shoulder, and then grip for safety. Second side, you'll take it up, over shoulders. And then when you've got it over each shoulder, you hold on. It's a tight hold, so it's just right across the neck. And then leaning forward. You find yourself in the center, and then you just get to have this nice flying hang. Okay, coming out, you can just roll all the way back. I'll be on the outside to help anybody that needs it, but first step is that wide knee thing. So take your feet in a little bit, wide knees.
So
I usually grip up here.
okay.
Yeah.
I did the little chicken wing. Should I not have?
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine too.
And then just fall forward?
Yeah, just fall forward. Yeah, just make sure it stays over your toes.
I can when he's anywhere near wide.
No, it could be just a hip thing, just working on the hip.
It is a hip.
Okay.
So it's just like this, right? Right?
Yep, you look great. So if it's not staying, yeah. So it's not staying, yeah. Leave the knees right there. I think that's kind of that a little bit. Yep, so bunch it all back up. Good job, Robin. And I actually, if it helps you feel more comfortable, yeah, that's good. Yep. It's just the falling because the chest. Yeah. Okay. Whoops. Yeah, it's like almost in the right shape. Yeah, it really. Don't feel bad if it's like not like a struggle today. Yeah, you're good. I'll be here if you wanted to. Like, you got it. Yeah.
Once I get my shoulders, I can.
Let's see if I can help you. Up. You know, and I can kind of like hold you up a little bit. Yeah. Over the shoulders. Yep. You want me to?
This.
Okay. Okay, figure up just like that. Lean into me. Yeah. Keep on letting your elbows in.
Oh. Yeah. Once the elbows come in, everything falls into place.
Yeah, once the elbows, I think that was the step spot for you. Isn't this one feel amazing?
Yeah, and it should you should feel it in your hip when you do
Uh-huh.
Great, yeah.
So then,
Did you have a question, Phil?
I feel like I want to open my and let my hips come through.
Yeah.
That would be how you
doing.
come out. Yeah, you would just roll out by bringing hips together.
Oh, but I mean, if you want to pull
I
them
know,
forward,
but
then
I
it
want-
Oh, you want to lean? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine too. Almost like an upside down inverted plank thing.
Oh, God.
This is a hip opener for
Let
sure.
Just open the hips, but
Yeah.
maybe next time I.
No, yeah, you did it though. You did
Well,
it.
I had to reach up really high
Mm,
and work my shoulders through
mm.
one at a time in order to get there. Once you get one through, then you're in front.
Yeah.
And it starts to get easier. And then I should have put my arms in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just roll back out. You got it.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Are you coming out? Yeah. Just bring your knees together. Yep.
It's almost an easier fall.
I know, it's way easier to come out. Yeah, just bring it together and just roll out.
All
Yep.
of a sudden, you're in Sebastian.
It's like, hello. Beautiful. Well, if you need any break because you're upside down, take as long as you need. No rush. But again, you'll kind of help me know that you're doing okay by starting to sit up, even coming out if you're ready. But again, I'm not rushing you. Take your time. We always want to give our head that time, so that way, we're not gonna, black out or something. I don't want to catch you.
I actually fall out of the heaven.
Oh no, let's not do that.
Your head was
Oh shoot. Not allowed.
I did find a couple holes.
Okay, you can get those.
Are we?
Yeah, go ahead and come all the way out whenever you're situated. Beautiful.
I mean, it was the first time I've ever fallen out of anything. How many years?
Yeah, that's true. So one and never again. Yeah, one and done. Okay, so let's step our feet under plumb line. So that's about halfway up the mat, nice and wide. And let's just do some nice, easy loosening for the hips. So we're gonna take some huge hip circles like a hula hoop. We're gonna go to the front door direction first. So we're gonna go for 5, all the way around and down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Pause. Take it to the other side. Here is 5, 4. You can let your feet get a little massage through that whole circle. 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Come back. Let's clasp the hands behind your back. And then just allow yourself to take a slight back bend. It's nice and easy. Arch open. Good. Roll back up. Walk the feet backwards to stand up. Fabric out in front of us. Let's take our right thigh all the way. So warrior 1, take the grip. You can have the full wraparound or just flat hands. Start to shift your hips as far forward as they'll go. So into that psoas. Good. The fingers aren't wrapped around. Go ahead and wrap. Softly lower left knee to floor. So from here, camel or half camel, right hand grabs on left half. Left hand goes to that left heel. You need a couple more inches to switch focus. Go ahead and take the other side first. We'll go for that twisted and keep going. Good. And then let's switch. So right hand grips to left. Or left hand to right, that's what I mean, sorry. And then right hand to heel. Okay. Back up. We're gonna see how much our hamstring's willing to go for us. So we're gonna try to ease the fabric down to ankle. If this is really not working, turn to the side, and that's usually where people are able to get it. But if you can get here, try to get the leg as straight as possible, and either kind of bring your whole body weight forward or just kind of like lean into the leg. Pretty intense. Yep, just go to the side when you're ready. If it's going to a weird angle, just readjust where your knee is on the ground, forward or backward. Good. Okay. And if you haven't turned yet, drop your hands to the floor, turn to the side. And you'll find that there's just the right spot. If you're too far forward, the legs swing backwards. And so you can scoot yourself to the point where the leg stays to the side. Maybe lower to elbows if that feels good. Maybe even kind of sink some weight to the mirror side. Good. Okay. Getting to the back of the mat for pigeon. This knee that's on the ground, swivel the toes in, drop down to elbows. Okay. Take the knee out of the fabric. Come up to a standing place to take the second side. So we've got left thigh in. Whenever you're there, sooner or later, sink some weight forward. Open the soles. Tight grip to softly lower right knee down. Then we're going to first twist to the right side. So left hand grips on right half, and then right hand to heel. Okay, switch the grip, right hand to left, left hand down. Okay, back up. And start to ease your way down to the ankle. Again, if you need to just drop down to the side right away, that's okay. If you can lean forward at all, take it. Oops. And if you need to come back up to stand, there you go. You got it. You got it. Like, this one is pretty intense, so don't feel bad if you're not doing the splits one. Yeah. Okay. Maybe one more good breath in and out. Okay, drop hands to the side of the mat. You need to scoot your knee forward or backwards so the leg just kind of stays more pointing to the mirror. That's fine. Perhaps go to elbows or perhaps sink some more weight forward to mirror. That's okay. As long as you switch sides, you're good. Okay, continue to turn to back of mat. Swivel the toes in for pigeon. Look on the elbows. Breath in and out. And start to release. Let's come back up to stand. If your body's happy with the amount of inverting that you've done, you'll come back to this seated shape that we were at before, and you'll just take some nice little hip openers or twists. If you'd like one last inversion, opening up your hips, you're going to have fabric in front of you. And you'll head to our inverted butterfly. So you'll end up with both feet inside, knees wide behind, like a cobbler. And you'll get both shoulders all the way through. Take the fabric off the hip bones, so scoot just a little bit to the right, a bit to the left, and then let yourself drop all the way down. If you feel like you get stuck, I'll be on the outside to help you out. Yep, you got it. So both shoulders through. Good. Now start getting your fabric. And if you feel like you don't want to go all the way, you don't have to get the fabric past hip bones. little bit lighter. That's okay. That's okay.
It's so painful.
You're like right in that balance point. Yeah, yeah. Usually it's when you're a little tired.
I want to get it.
out. That's
I
not
want
gonna
to.
help you. You're like, I want this so bad. And when you're ready to head out, just bring the arms back behind and straighten the legs. Yeah, 1 foot at a time. Those that don't want to do that, by the way, just come down to this seated place. You're holding yourself on shoulders and let one hip at a time just take a little stretch. Yeah. One day, you're like, one day I will love it.
I just tell myself that, like, you know, the first 10 times I did a hip hang, it was the worst thing
It's
I ever
true.
did, and I love it now.
And now you
so
love it, yeah, see?
Trying.
This one is one of those too that the first 10 seconds of it are like the
Yeah,
worst, and then the more you
true.
relax into it, the better it
So
gets.
true.
Yeah.
Like anything else.
Like anything else. Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
It's like more of a mental relaxation than anything else. Good. And when you've done both sides, if there's any last stretches your body wants, like if you need one more back bend, if you need one little shoulder opener, you can take a moment to do any of those things. And then whenever you're ready for your Shavasana, you can start heading to that beautiful relaxation shape. Some people do a Shavasana just laying on the floor if you're about good with the hammock for now. And some people lay back inside just to relax the last few minutes of class. So your choice. If you want to do your flip-in, go for your flip-in. Nothing wrong with that. Any chance you get, just practice it over and over. So no rush to be in a Shavasana. If you're still stretching, if you're still moving, anything like that, that's fine. Those that are in Shavasana, allow your body to continue to unload all the tension. We've done a lot of stretching that's hit over a lot of the really big muscle groups of the body. So imagine we've kind of loosened up that tension. With your inhale, it's like you're gathering up the tension. Exhale, continue to set the tension off the side of your mat, all that responsibility, set it all away so that this moment of Shavasana is a moment of peace, serenity in your day. All you have to do is just focus on that beautiful deep inhale, long, relaxed exhale. here, we'll begin to return back to our bodies. Allow your breath to go deep and full. Nice inhales. Relaxing exhales. We'll start to introduce little movements to the body. If you're in the hammock, it might feel nice to stretch the arms to the back wall and let the shoulders wiggle left and right a few times. Sometimes it's nice to take a fetal position in the hammock. You keep your body long, but you can roll onto one hip with it stacking on top of the other hip. From there, you can curl in like a tight little ball. You can arch the spine all the way back. I'll usually take 3 or 4 of those to one side. Eventually 3 or 4 to the other side, no rush. All these good little movements, continuing to wake up the spine. When we have those moments of such tension, like we're holding the weight of the world on our shoulders, like the spine kind of sticks together because that's the way that it feels like it can hold that much stuff up. So these little movements are just so nice to remind the spine, oh yeah, I'm meant to be more fluid, more mobile. No rush. Keep on doing those movements until your spine feels balanced. And we'll keep woken it up, at which time we'll come up to a comfortable seated place. Whenever we rise up, sooner or later, we'll join hands together in front of the heart. Take a moment to reconnect with our intention, that idea of setting all that responsibility aside. So we have some questions leading us onward. Some questions like, do I have to put that entire load back on me now? Is there any of it that can be given away to someone else or put off for another day? And how can I remember to include plenty of self-care so that that responsibility doesn't feel quite so heavy, doesn't consume all of my time? So with these types of questions to help lead us on, let's wrap up the time we shared together with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. Om. May we be filled with light, happiness, and peace. Namaste.